So hey everyone, my name is Robert Chu. I'm going to be your Zoom host for today, and I'm here to assist the presenters. So today our breakout is titled the San Diego College of Continuing Education's Prevocational ESL Programs and Pathways to Career and Technical Education. Now, I'll make a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. So everyone just make sure to keep yourselves muted while the presentation's going on. If you have any questions, you can enter it in the Whova Q&A window to the right of your video. And then there'll be specific sessions where we'll just answer some of those questions. And we'll be uploading the breakout presentation materials and recording this breakout, and it'll also be available for attendees to access after the conference. So once the breakout is completed, please click on the Rate Session button to complete a brief survey. And with that, I'll let the presenters introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Robert. My name's Corinne Layton, and I'm so pleased to be here today. I'm currently the VESL coordinator for San Diego College of Continuing Education. And the formal term for our program is Prevocational ESL, but it's just so much easier to say VESL, so I will be using the term VESL throughout the presentation. And in addition to being the VESL coordinator, I am a longtime VESL instructor. It's really been my passion. I've been teaching VESL for many years at different levels. Currently, I'm teaching an advanced VESL course, and we're so thrilled to have this opportunity to collaborate with our counselors in making our programs known to students and finding ways to let students know about the various options that we offer through the San Diego College of Continuing Education. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'd like my co-presenter to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Gwynne, ESL and VESL instructor, and I'm also super happy to be here with you today, and thank you for coming.
So we're going to get started and look at our agenda for this afternoon. We'll begin with an overview of our brand new Prevocational ESL certificate programs, and then we're going to talk about our general VESL courses, which we call Course 1 and Course 2. The first one is ESL plus Career Exploration and Job Search, and the second one is called ESL plus Workplace Communication. And then we'll move into our specialized VESL courses. We have one that's offered at the advanced level for students who are interested in healthcare careers, and then we have another specialized VESL course for career pathways. We'll move from there into how we can make pathways from VESL to career and technical education courses. And then a very important part of our agenda is the strategies we can use to collaborate with counselors in transitioning students from prevocational ESL to career and technical education. And then we'll move on to a description of our Course 1 and Course 2s. So very recently, we have developed 5 new prevocational ESL programs. And these prevocational ESL programs are offered for students from beginning low, which we call level 2, all the way up to advanced, which includes students at both levels 6 and 7. And we're so pleased because students have an opportunity to start in this track at a lower level than they were able to in the past. We'll go on to the next screen. We've developed 2 new prevocational ESL courses for each program. And Course 1, which is 9 weeks, as I mentioned earlier, is called ESL plus Career Exploration and Job Search. And Course 2, which is also 9 weeks, is ESL plus workplace communication. Now, these courses can be taken in any order, or a student could just take one of the courses. For example, maybe there's a student whose priority is looking for a job, finding a job. So they might only want to take course one. Or there might be a student who already has a job, is very happy with their job, but they want to work on their communication skills, and they might decide to take course two. If the student takes both course one and course two, then they would be eligible for a complete program completion certificate. Now, as I said, we have 5 programs at the various levels. Each program offers 2 courses, and then that amounts to 10 prevocational ESL courses. We wanted to share with you a little bit about the content of each of these 2 courses. So the first one, as I mentioned, is ESL plus career exploration and job search. Of course, the focus is always on developing students' English language skills. And they're using these language skills to set career goals, both short-term and long-term goals. And they have an opportunity to research career options online. In addition to researching those career options, they learn how to search for jobs online, complete job applications, write a resume and a cover letter, and to prepare for a job interview. And then in terms of course 2, which is ESL plus workplace communication, the main focus is on developing students' oral and written communication skills for the workplace. And in order to do that, they have multiple opportunities to participate in simulated workplace conversations and discussions. They do a lot of problem solving, just as if they were working on a team at work and trying to address a problem and come up with a viable solution. Another part of this course that is very important is helping students develop the skills to deliver a 5 to 10 minute presentation on a workplace topic. And this is new for many of our students, but the students really appreciate having this opportunity, because it is very common in many workplace situations that an employee would have to deliver some type of presentation. So we're giving the students the skills to be successful in presentation. The students also learn a lot about composing professional correspondence. They learn how to write emails. They learn about the language that's appropriate for emails. They learn about netiquette. They learn about informal versus formal emails. They also learn how to compose reports and business letters. And they also learn how to interpret workplace texts, whether it's from an actual manual that they receive at work or from diverse media online and diverse formats. I do also want to mention that we have a very heavy emphasis on the development of soft skills, such as participating on a team or developing and taking initiative. All different kinds of soft skills are developed throughout the course. So I'm going to turn over the mic now to Steve, and he's going to talk to you about our advanced VESL specific courses.
Okay, so in addition to our course 1 and course 2 VESL classes, we also have 2 specific classes. And one is VESL for health careers, and the other is VESL for career pathways. So first I'm going to talk about just a little bit about VESL for health careers. And this is a very popular class that we've had, both when it was in the classroom and now in the online format. It gives students this overview of the healthcare sector, very specific vocabulary to help scaffold them into training for a healthcare field class. It also includes more preparation as the VESL classes do, with resume and interview skills. And then Corinne mentioned the soft skill development, which is really integrated throughout our curriculum. Also professional communication in a healthcare setting. So that's very specific and contextualized. And then finally, it includes the VESL for Health Careers module. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about those modules, but I'll just point that out right there. The VESL for Career Pathways class is where the majority of our modules come in. And so that's what I'm going to talk about right now. This particular course aligns with the course 2 objectives. So in addition to that coursework, it also includes a menu of 5 pathways, and it's totally online and integrated with the Canvas learning management system. And these pathways were chosen as the ones that we identified as most interesting to ESL students through data that we had access to and to also surveys. So right now we have VESL for Business Information Worker, VESL for Project Management, Small Business, Account Clerk, which is new, Child Development, and VESL for Fashion and Design. So this gives students a direct pathway into the CTE courses at SDCCE. So these courses, I just want to point out, I mentioned that they were identified, these areas, topic areas were identified by student interest, but they were also developed in collaboration with deans, program chairs, instructors, CTE instructors for those courses, and some student input. So we probably got going on this back in 2017, and we were in the middle of Blackboard and Canvas, and we straddled that whole transformation. So it's been a long project, but it's really kind of heartwarming to see it come to fruition, and it's still very flexible as we're developing it. Let me just drill down a little bit deeper into this and point out some things that you may be aware of, but I just want to make sure that this is really contextualized curriculum, and it's based on student interests. So they make choices for themselves in which area to go in. And that way they can learn key specific vocabulary, maybe concepts and reading that helps scaffold them into, hopefully, into CTE or into the workplace. They get a lot of experience submitting a variety of academic assignments. So this is sometimes new for ESL students to be able to submit really a professional student document, whether it's a paragraph, an essay, or a recording through an online format like Canvas. We focus on a lot of listening and note-taking, just like they might have to do in a lecture. We work on pronunciation, we build speaking and confidence, and the presentations that they do really build that. We have students who've never given a presentation before, and yet they're so proud, you know, when they succeed, and they put in a lot of work, and it shows when they pay off. And even the few times where maybe a student bombs on a presentation, they realize, like, wow, I didn't put in the work. I'm going to do this next time. So we learn from mistakes, but in a really warm, friendly community. So it's not like, you know, it's in front of a classroom where you don't want to bomb. And then finally, they learn how to work on teams and collaborate on projects. And then throughout all the modules, and in both VESL courses, we emphasize test-taking skills, because that's been something that's held ESL students back. So whether it's learning to adapt to a timed reading test, learning how to strategize various question types, they get a lot of practice on that. And then finally, just some general things that I'd like to just add in here, that this self-paced and instructor-supported learning is really a feedback loop. It's like each student has an instructor who's a personal coach working with them, you know, in developing writing and speaking skills, who they can reach out through through the Pronto app messaging. So we get messages all the time. We work directly through Canvas in their you know, correcting their submissions and giving feedback, and that's a back and forth as they revise things. So this is super important for students, and they really appreciate this aspect of online learning. And then, you know, one of our other goals, just maybe not a explicit objective, but what we're trying to do is build independent learners and accountability for students, because they really need that. This is kind of a first for a lot of students. And then as far as, you know, supporting transition, we don't know exactly where students will land in our program. So they could be co-enrolled, they may be formally co-enrolled, they may be transitioning to college, they may already be in college and they're taking this class just to work on English skills. So they're in this spectrum, and we've designed this program that has a linear path, but they're coming in where they need to and getting the support that they need to. So we have just, I don't have a lot of data to show you, but just speaking off the cuff, I've got probably 5 or 6 students who are co-enrolled right now. I have maybe 3 that were previously co-enrolled, but maybe they're coming back. They passed the project management, but they still feel that they need to develop their skills in English. And so they're taking project management module just to be able to practice in their area, their specialty. And then finally, each module has built into it career exploration into CTE. So it's specific right now to SDCCE, but part of that always has them doing a task where they, you know, go and research a particular class, see when it's open, when waiting, or not, excuse me, the interest lists are and orientations open up. We also gather pre and post assessment results, and we're working with the district with research for survey, by survey, to give us some meaningful data. We just need to collect more because it's over a long range survey. So we're not ready to present that yet, hopefully by the end of spring. And I should mention that, of course, it's zero cost to students, and we've tried to design this to our best ability to make it cross-platform, meaning that students can access from their phone, their tablet, or PC, wherever they are on the go, that they can connect. That's what we're looking for. And that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the modules.
Before we show that, Steve, could we go back just to your page again?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention, before we want to open this up for some questions before we go to the next section, but as Steve mentioned, these are online courses. All of them are online courses. However, they all have what we call live sessions, which really means our Zoom meetings. Most of us meet twice a week with our students, usually for about an hour and a half. Might be a little bit longer meetings or more frequent meetings at the beginning level, since this is a big transition for beginning level students to be taking an online course and all of the requirements of an independent online learner. And the Zoom courses, the Zoom classes are very important. The students really like it. You know, with the online course, one of the challenges has always been building community, and having these live sessions is a way of really developing the camaraderie, the support system that students get from their classmates. And what I've noticed this semester, teaching advanced level, both course 1, which was the one focusing on career exploration and job search, and course 2, workplace communication, a lot of the students want to take both courses and want to get that program certificate. So by course 2, the students have already started to develop relationship with their classmates and are feeling very comfortable in the online learning environment, and even more comfortable in the live sessions. We have breakout groups which is the time where the students are working in small groups and developing their mainly their oral communication skills, but there are also activities that develop their written communication skills during the live sessions. And I think, you know, as research shows that learner persistence, one of the main requirements for learner persistence is having a strong support system. So having this community building is very helpful in developing persistence in the classroom. And before we move on, we wanted to open up the floor to any questions on this part of the presentation. Were there any questions in the chat box, Robert? Or?
No, none at the chat box at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, if there's any questions, just enter it there.
And I'd just like to add too that our live Zoom sessions are recorded and posted so that students who cannot attend, they actually, not everybody, but a lot of them will go and review those recordings. So again, it's one of the benefits of online that helps make up for what, you know, we're missing in face-to-face.
Right, and the fact that we do have these recordings are very helpful for students who might be working or they have young children at home and they're not able to attend the live sessions, but they really appreciate the fact that we do post recordings after all of the live sessions. And they'll let us know if it's not up in a timely fashion. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And the other thing that I wanted to mention at the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned that we've had a real change in our VESL course offerings by having these having 2 courses that are each 9 weeks per semester. So students have a lot more opportunities to earn course completion certificates. And that is also very motivating for learner persistence because students want to see that they are making success, that they are achieving success in their classrooms. So having an opportunity to earn 2 course completion certificates and then a program completion certificate in an 18-week period is very motivating. So again, are there any questions? You could also, do people have the ability to raise their hand or?
So there's no questions there right now. I think they can raise their hand in this chat or
Okay.
in the Zoom. They can also unmute themselves to speak.
You know,
but I don't see any.
What would be helpful in the chat box, if you could just let us know, we're curious about the audience. Are you all counselors? Are some of you instructors? Are you administrators? If maybe you could put your name in the chat box and your role. And then maybe Robert could let us know who our audience is. And I'll give a minute for you to do that.
There's a job placement case manager.
Oh, great.
Kuyamaka, Angela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have oh, hi Lola. Nice to see you here.
A counselor and a CW coordinator from Kuyamaka, Asthma.
Oh, great to see different agencies represented. And job placement is certainly an important area to be collaborating with. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking about working with counselors, and our career counselor at Mid-City, we've had some conversations with him and some suggestions from him on how we can better collaborate on promoting our courses, letting students know of all the options available to them.
There's also Christy, who's a counseling faculty and instructor at Miracosta.
Great. That's great. Okay, well, if there aren't any questions, we'll go on to the part that I think is probably of most interest to those of you who are here today. And that is the strategies for collaboration with counselors, instructors, job placement, personnel, administrators. So Steve mentioned that when we started developing some of our new courses, we had multiple meetings with different personnel in our programs. And we met with our counselors, for example, to provide information about our courses, because it's very key for a counselor to know the difference in, now that we have so many different types of courses. We also want to make sure that we're matching our students' educational and career goals with the appropriate pre-vocational ESL courses. And then it's also very important to inform both CTE and ESL instructors about these course offerings. And we had many meetings when we developed some of our new courses with representatives from our CTE courses to let them know about our course offerings in case they had students that maybe needed to further develop their English language skills and would really benefit from both a CTE course and an ESL course at the same time. We've also had presentations and from our counselors in our courses. And of course, the very quick and easy way to communicate is through our email system. We've also developed flyers for all of our pre-vocational ESL courses where it talks about the different, the focus of each course. And those flyers have been made available to counselors and faculty, both ESL faculty and CTE faculty. And then another very important strategy is connecting with our counselors for in-class presentations or workshops. And we have a number of different topics that our counselors provide presentations on, and I wanted to share with you a few examples. So I want to credit our career counselor at SDCCE, Carl Cameron, who let me know about a lot of the workshops that he provides. Now, these workshops are available for students who are both native speakers of English and not native speakers of English. And one of the presentations that he offers is called Your Best Career Fit. And it starts by giving an overview of the course offerings by SDCCE. It also explores the career development process and the difference between what a job is versus a career, and how can career assessments help the student. And this is maybe the first time a student ever does a career assessment. You can go on. And something that's kind of in the development stage, but the counselors will make available for our ESL students are presentations that have been really geared specifically for non-native speakers of English. But Carl recommends that students be at the high intermediate or advanced levels of ESL to attend these presentations. And again, one of the topics is career assessments. He also shows the students how the results of these assessments can be interpreted. They also explore the SDCCE educational tracks and career tracks. And I wanted to show you two different links. The first link, before we click on it, was developed for maybe not only ESL students, but maybe for students who have literacy issues. And it's a career assessment that is done entirely using photos. So if we could click on that link, Steve.
Okay, let me know if you follow me or I need to do a new share.
I can see it because everyone see the page. If you would just go back up for a moment, Steve. So this is a wonderful assessment that was developed by Truity, and it's called a photo career quiz. And what I wanted to show you, if we can go very slowly, maybe just click on the first one first. Yeah, so the student has been told, choose the image which appeals to you most. Now, if these are students who don't have a lot of language skills or reading skills, we would instruct the students to click on the picture of what they would like to do, or the one of what they would like to do more. So obviously we have a picture with someone in the construction field, and then in the dentistry field. So each pair, the student, all they have to do is click on it. Can you click on it, Steve? Thanks. And if we scroll down, and then there's a picture of someone working with, would you say this is chemistry? Since I don't have a great science background. Or
I'm going to click on this one.
Yeah, for me, it would definitely be someone doing presentations. And then the next one. So someone in the sewing and fashion field versus someone who is working with computers, maybe in an office position.
She looks a little frustrated.
She does. Not sure what she's holding in her left hand.
Yeah, I think it's implying a lot of things. Maybe I'm going to change to the fashion career. She looks happier.
So, and then the next one, obviously, we have sports versus someone using a calculator. I'm not sure if these results are going to be very, very evident because we're kind of all over the place, but so you kind of get the idea. Then let's just finish. There's 6 pairs that we can do, which is the short assessment. I'm not sure if it's more than 6. It might be more than 6. And then when the student finishes, they will be told what type of field they would probably work best in. I think there are too many for us to probably go through, but you can get the idea. Okay, so let's go back to that slide, and I want to show you the one that doesn't use graphics, that uses more the visual language.
I'm sorry, which?
I want to go back to the previous slide. Yeah, so we can click on the other link. I want to show the other.
Okay, did you guys follow me?
The one at the very bottom where it says CCC. Yeah, if you could please click on that link.
You sure it's not the same one?
No, it's not the same one. So this is an assessment that is used and approved by California community colleges, and it's called Welcome to Career Coach. And maybe some of you counselors have seen this before, but it was new to me. And there's one section on taking a career assessment. There's also one on browsing careers and browsing different programs that are available for students who are interested in the careers. But I wanted to show you take the assessment. So if you click on Take the Assessment. And what I want to show you is there are two different assessments. There's a quick start with 6 questions, and there's a detailed one with 60 questions. So I'm going to do the quick start 6 questions because I want to show you how the results are interpreted. And you can just click again. So the student is asked to rate different workplace tasks from strongly agree all the way down to strongly disagree. So for me, you would like to work hands-on with objects, machines, tools, work and plays outside, use your physical or athletic. I would have to put strongly disagree. You would like to observe, learn, analyze, evaluate, solve problems, question and explore physical, biological, or cultural happenings. Well, that had so much. I'm going to just put agree for that one. And you would like to express yourself creatively, use imagination or intuition. Feel free to be inventive. I would put strongly agree on that one. And if you would like to inform, enlighten, teach, counsel, or cure, use your skills with words to serve people, strongly agree. You would like to influence, persuade, lead, or manage, reach your personal or organizational goals. Well, having been in leadership, I would have to put strongly agree. And you would like to work with facts, numbers, and details. Follow directions to organize, plan, and complete a project or task. I guess I'd have to use strongly agree again. So now it's going to give me my top 3 traits, which is really helpful in helping students make some career goals. And which tells me that from just those 6 questions, they've noticed my top 3 traits are artistic, social, and enterprising. So it's a great assessment tool and relatively easy for students who have maybe an intermediate or intermediate high or advanced level of English. So we're going to go back, Steve, to the
PowerPoint.
Yeah. And the nice thing about those assessments is if they're done with a career counselor, the career counselor helps the students interpret and talk about next steps. So some other great counselor presentation topics are setting SMART goals and time management and career readiness. Now, it's very interesting. The career readiness includes career exploration, interviewing, and resumes. And those topics completely match with the content of Prevocational ESL Course 1, which is career exploration and job search. So I told Carl that next, I'm currently teaching workplace communication, but the next time when I teach career exploration, I would love for him to come out and make a presentation on those topics. Now, other strategies for collaboration is informing second language speakers who may be struggling in CTE courses because of language barriers of the possibility of co-enrollment in our VESL courses. So it's very important to be letting those CTE instructors know about our courses in case they would like to refer a student to ESL as well. And also, this goes both ways for students who are very fluent in our advanced levels ESL classes, letting them know that there are CTE courses that they are ready to either co-enroll in or enroll after they finish their advanced level ESL course.
And I'd just like to mention that this topic, it was really the driver and motivation behind the development of these modules, because, you know, the whole time we imagined this student, we've heard about this student, but we aren't seeing a whole lot of these students show up in our classes. So we're still out there, you know, we've got this whole curriculum geared toward, you know, helping this student who's just on the edge of success in a CTE class and just needs a little bit more skill development. So we want you to know that we're here ready to help this population, and we're trying to connect with them.
Absolutely. Often you had that anecdote about the family daycare program. Did you want to share that, Steve?
Just when we were working with an instructor, and she was kind of telling us what was in the course, what was required, what were the requirements, and this was an opportunity for students to get actual college credit, if they passed the test and gave the presentation and everything. And she was just talking about a student in general who just was so close and had worked so hard, and that really made an impression on us. So we really want to help that student, if we can find her. Hopefully she's gone on now to much better things, but that's what we're looking for, and we're totally here to help.
And our online courses do include different assignments, such as making an oral presentation, I think we've been influenced in some of our curriculum development and course design by the conversations we've had with our colleagues in CTE.
Yeah, absolutely. Because an example of child development, there's a book report that's due, and a lot of our students have never done a book report as we think of one in the US. And so we're able to kind of build that up in a simpler format, so that when and if they do go into the child development class, it's not going to be like a huge surprise, and the teacher won't have to struggle. The instructor won't have to struggle with a student to teach them from the beginning. They'll already have the basics, knowing how to do that, whether it's a presentation, a book report, or even basic concepts on theory. A lot of students have not studied theory before. So just those little things will really scaffold into being more successful in a CTE course.
Yeah, I think our courses really help empower students. I just have a quick anecdote. In course 1, as I mentioned earlier, where they're doing career exploration and job search, and they're learning to do an online application, and they're learning how to write a resume, and they're learning how to interview. I received in my Canvas shell last night an email from one of my students who had been in course 1 with me and now is in course 2, letting me know that she had an interview today and wouldn't be able to attend the live session, and finished her email by saying, and I feel ready. I feel ready from what I've learned in this course for my interview. So I'm really curious to hear the results of the interview today. So that really the idea is empowering our students, either as they do look for a job or as they move into career and technical education courses. That's our purpose. And then another thing I wanted to talk about that I think is really important is making sure that you provide some training to placement staff. And that's different depending on what agency you're working for. In our ESL program, we have ESL instructional assistants and student services staff who do placement of our ESL students, is providing training about the variety of prevocational ESL course offerings. Now in August, right before the semester started, I conducted 2 trainings, one for our daytime staff and one for our evening staff, on giving them some information about the variety of courses, just like we're doing today with you. And then I gave them some situations. And what course would you refer the student to? So whether it was a student who was really struggling with her language skills, who was working, versus a student who hasn't ever worked in the United States and really doesn't know what her career focus is. So I would give them situations, and then they would role play, excuse me, in breakout groups. We'd have a staff member and a student, and they'd role play how they would promote the course. And it was really interesting and really informative for me to see our staff simulating a placement session. So before we move on, there's one other thing we're going to talk about. Are there any questions at this point, Robert?
Currently, there's nothing posted on the Q&A.
Oh, okay. Well, so we're going to move on, and Steve's going to talk about our ICOM Academy courses.
Yeah, we need to mention this. I'm really not a spokesperson for ICOM, but what ICOM means is interactive competency-based online micro-credentialing. And this is something that our district started, was really championed by the former president, Carlos Cortez. And they now have a range of ICOM courses that, you know, from small business to, you know, all the trades, and they also include child development, health, and everything. And we have just become part of that. So this fall, our advanced pre-vocational ESL and intermediate high pre-vocational ESL, both courses, 1 and 2, are part of that. I'm not sure what that means to our students, but it does give us, all the Canvas courses were developed by instructors, and they were developed professionally through an online learning company. So they're very professional in appearance and presentation, and we're, you know, learning how to work with them. They're also flexible, which is great about online, so that as things change or, you know, needs change, you can adapt them. And then this spring, we'll be bringing online the low intermediate, the high beginning, and there's also a reading class, not VESL, but also the beginning low pre-vocational VESL class, which is going to come online in the fall, actually. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. It's, you know, it looks like we're going to be in online for a while. These courses are offered only online. The ICOM is not for in the classroom. But it's a big step forward for us, and a great way to have our new courses put together in a professional manner.
Steve, are you going to share with our audience what one of the courses looks like, just so that they could get a feel for it?
One of the ICOM courses?
Right. It could even be the advanced VESL or one of the course you're currently teaching on pathways.
Well, the pathways is not a part of the ICOM. But,
okay, so how about advanced VESL? Could we?
All right. What I'll do is I will pause my share for a second.
Okay.
And let me just pull that up real quick.
We're really excited, while Steve is pulling it up, that students at the lower levels are doing as well as they're doing in our online courses. It's this fall we started having high flex courses where students could attend in person a couple of days a week, while students were also attending on Zoom. And initially, we had more students who were actually attending on Zoom, but there is an audience of students who still prefer face-to-face, and here we go.
Yeah, so this is our work, just looking into a module of our workplace communication. It always begins with something that focuses the attention of students, and a little introduction and maybe inspiring quote. We lay out the module tasks and the learning objectives right here. And Corinne, you're currently teaching this, so
well, this is a good one. Yeah. Okay. go ahead. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to jump in or not.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through page by page, but
No.
you know, it begins with student expectations, which is really something that we have to lay out clearly, because students have all kinds of expectations for online classes. Sometimes they think, hey, it's just cool to show up or not show up or do this or that. And so we really try and build this in so that we're building in accountability right from the get-go. And the nice thing about this is that the design of all the courses now follow this similar pattern. So we really have a kind of a unified look to our program. So that's been a great benefit for our new courses. And actually, I'm not teaching this course, so I don't have access to it. I pulled up a development shell, so it's a little bare in some instances then. But as you can see, our live sessions are built in here, so it's something that you know, we explicitly have students, you know, what they should prepare and what the agenda is from the get-go.
And usually the class at the live session, let's say on Monday, I would let them know what we'll be doing on Wednesday, which is my second live session, and what they needed to do to be prepared for the class. We call this a flipped classroom, where they're doing some work online so that when they get to the live session, they can be doing a more interactive activity, building their oral communication skills.
Mm-hmm. And here's an example of just having a soft skill, active listening built into the curriculum. Okay, I'm going to go back to...
We might even show them the syllabus just so that they could see the range of topics, if you're able to.
Yeah,
It's not letting you.
Well, I have my pathway syllabus here
Okay.
because it's a development shell, and so
Right.
it hasn't posted that. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We just wanted to give you an idea of what those ICOM courses look like, and they're very professionally done, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback from our students. And what I want to also mention is, once an ICOM course is developed, there's somewhat of a uniformity in teaching to the objectives of the course outlines. And we spent a lot of time on developing those course outlines. And now with these ICOM courses, all of the goals and objectives are addressed. And so teachers will be teaching to the same goals and objectives using a very professionally developed Canvas shell. Did you want to talk about the suggestions?
So I know we're nearing the end, but we really would like some feedback from you in the form of suggestions. You've kind of seen where we are. We have, you know, we want to reach this population of students. We want to find out how best we can do that. We're doing everything we can by working with the counselors. We're using social media to get our message out in email blasts and digital flyers. But we also need your help in kind of letting us know what, you know, if you have an idea, what would you propose? What would you suggest for, you know, reaching the student population that we need, or making these pathways work better? And so what we did was we put a Google Doc in here. I'm going to click on this, and I think Robert has the link that he can provide for you also. And it's just a place where if you have an idea now, you could type it in, or if you come up with one later on, you could also let us know, and we would appreciate any feedback that you have. And it could go right here. And Robert, did you drop that into chat?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Since we have a few minutes, we could open this up for discussion. I'd be curious to know what other agencies are doing in terms of collaboration in promoting their VESL programs. Some of you are counselors, some of you are job developers. Would anybody be interested in sharing what they're doing at their agency? And it could be our agency as well.
We must have a shy group here.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky we're not in the classroom because we'd be calling on you.
Yeah. Yeah. We really want to develop ways of getting the word out and reaching the students who could most benefit from our courses and helping our students realize their educational and career goals. Be curious to know if any of you are doing presentations like our career counselor is doing on career topics. And that would include our job placement attendees. Or maybe this is a new type of collaboration. Could we, if we don't have any comments, could we at least leave, I know we still, I'm just checked to see the time. We have about 3 minutes, is that right?
Yeah.
So we could maybe leave the document open if you'd want to, at least, what would really be helpful, even if you don't have a suggestion, is to at least type in your name and your position within your agency and the name of your agency. So we have a great contact list for the future.
Yeah, everyone, please feel free to provide feedback. And there's also feedback for the session as well through the Whova app when you exit in a few minutes as well. So any form is good.
Well, we'll leave it open for a few minutes. I just want to thank you for attending today. And I hope that we will have some future collaboration, both within SDCCE and also with some of the other agencies. We're all in this for the same purpose of serving our students. So, Steve, did you want to say anything as well?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming. And we look forward to collaborating or just kind of crossing the borders of our so-called silos. We did it in the development of this, and we look forward to connecting with other districts, other people, and especially counselors, because you guys are the key to reaching students. So thanks again so much for coming, and I hope you give us a few suggestions. Feel free to say whatever you feel like.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. We also want to thank Robert for his role in this presentation. And it's been a great honor to be able to present at a counselor conference. It's my first counselor conference. So thank you for giving us that opportunity.
Yeah, good job, Robert. We didn't get bombed or no glitches. The audio didn't go out. And
yeah.
So I can breathe a sigh of relief now.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, you never know with Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yep.
Cool.
And
So Steve and Corinne's link will still be active and you can use that whenever. But I will be closing the room soon just to get everyone prepped. Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
Time to get up and stretch. Have a great day, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you.
Enjoy your conference.